Hello everyone, this is TobeTada with another video of crypto trading. Thanks for checking by and let's dive right in. So let's have a look at the BTC USDT trading pair, and we can see that Bitcoin has been in an upward momentum here, at upward movement in the last couple of days and even the last week here, as seen by this arrow here. And we've been talking about this movement here in general since it went up here, and we termed this the B movement here. The B movement of the cycle, which is split up into an upward moving phase and a downward moving phase, and this downward moving phase can be split up into an A, B, and a C movement. So here we basically, since this peak happened, had the A correction, which went down to here, and now basically this B movement going up here, and then most likely the C movement going back down here. And this B movement we have also been comparing to the last cycle, which is seen here, and you can see there is a variation in this in the sense that, for example, here we drew in this upward pointing triangle, which looks different here, and we talked about that this was basically due to for example, this momentum here going upwards compared to this downward trend here. And we have also been saying that there is basically, if we look at it in the larger perspective, there is the symmetrical triangle, and we have a resistance line up here by connecting the peak here and here, and that this will probably hinder the price from going further up here. You can see that this is quite a strong upward movement now here, since the low of this this A wave and then the B and the beginning of the B wave here, and we could even extend this line here up here, and it gives us so you can see that this is still moving above this support line basically, and the idea is that basically the price now here, in the last view we said there is a chance that it would go down here, similar to the last cycle where we saw this decrease here, and it now seems that this downward movement is still going to be away a couple of days, and we're instead in this alternative scenario here, where the price is very, very likely going to go up and reach this resistance line here. So Bitcoin at 4,100, 4,120 is going to be a very likely scenario in the next couple of days basically. I expect then the price to actually remain at this resistance, with obviously some peaks going up and down, but basically remaining here. After that, it is very likely that we'll basically repeat this pattern here. We're going to see here this decrease, fall, probably a very strong fall in price, probably going down to 3,800 and then maybe to 3,700, something like that is very likely. And you can see this is basically based on this scenario here, and then we can see how it continues from then onwards. Of course, there is another alternative scenario as always, and that is that the price will continue to basically push upwards. You can, for example, already see that this movement here is quite similar to what we had here when this was somewhat undecided where the price was going to go. We saw a fairly slow increase in price, actually. That was already a characteristic here, not as in so here, where we had basically half an hour a tremendous increase in price, but basically here, similar to here, we're seeing this gradual increase here. And I think that is a good indication that you can see basically the idea is that we're basically at this point here, and that there is still going to be the next push going up here. As I said there, the alternate scenario is basically that we'll actually push through this resistance here, which I think is less likely to happen, and that would, if it happens, it would mean that the price will probably reach up until at least 4,400, as there is a resistance here, or even 4,600 to 700 here. So that would be a possibility. I don't think it's very strong, probably reaching something like that before decreasing tremendously, again probably down to 4,000. I think the most likely scenario here is that we'll push up to the 4,000 mark, 100 mark, and probably remain there before again going transitioning into the C movement, which would probably look something like this, very roughly speaking. And then here we'll probably have the beginning of the third cycle and probably continue something in this way. So the first more likely scenario in my opinion is that, again, short term there is another gain of 1 to 2% here before falling back, and the less likely scenario is that we'll push through this resistance here and go up to 4,400, 4,600, 700. That is a possibility. Normally, if there is a breakthrough in price, it happens actually exactly at this, basically at this, the B movement here. I've observed this quite frequently, that when there is this, when you can basically identify this wave movement here, that at the A B movement here, instead of doing the C correction, it basically breaks out here, the B movement. So that is indeed a possibility. That's why I'm definitely keeping this in the alternative scenario here. But if this happens, it will very, very likely over the next weeks come again crashing down to 4,000. So alright, so this is basically it. Let me know what you think, if this was helpful, and see you in the next video. Bye.